the time we were in elementary school, we were all pros at PE.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Roblox, the Meat City.
When he went to the bathroom, he would pull his pants and underwear all the way down to the ground. Some of the ladies watching this might be thinking, wait, is that not how guys pee? Ladies, you'll just have to trust me on this, but that is the most wrong way a person can pee. The first time I saw the kid doing this was when I was in the urinal right next to him. Pee faster! As us two bros were peeing, a third bro walked into the bathroom, saw this kid's bottom, and just went, ooh, and walked out of the bathroom. I wish I could have done the same. How do you tell someone, hey man, when you pee like that, everyone can see your butt. So just, here, let me show you how to do it. I don't know what happened to that kid, but I think you would agree with me that math is easy. He was 8. When I was little, I had a very weird sense of humor. So in the 5th grade, there was this girl I'd known for a long time. We weren't strangers or anything. And one day I said to her, do you have 2 big blue zits right there? And I pointed at her eyes. I was talking about her eyes. I called her eyes zits. Get it? She immediately slapped me. Probably because the joke was so awful. And that was the first time I ever got slapped by someone who wasn't a family member. And yes, it was Priscilla, the girl I sat next to in the cardboard boat video. She claims that the slap was an accident and that she was just trying to slap me to scare me. But I think she was really just self-conscious about her eyes. One time, my 6th grade teacher, who was the same height as all of us, threw a stapler across the room because we wouldn't stop talking. Here's an anecdote about the first time I got detention. And it isn't that exciting. I was in the 7th grade.
Little bit Chris in Europe.
His race doesn't matter, so I'm not going to say it. Asian. That came me you're watching first the cat showing me. To be fair, I thought what he was doing was hilarious. Then I asked him, shut the doors. I'll just going to show you how long ago this story took place. He showed me what he did, I laughed, and the teacher said he was changing the wallpaper. She was able to see everyone's screens from her computer, and the kid said, James were. Dude, don't bring me into this. You were the one changing the wallpapers. I mean, I was involved a little. Don't drag me down with you. We ended up getting attention, except my school didn't call it.
Little girls on my neck, yeah. Little girls, let's get a check, yeah.
Hey! The whole time I was in class, I kept thinking in my head, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And if you cry, you might as well move to China. And that was the only time I got attention. Except it wasn't called attention. Well, I still have a clean record. Here's the last anecdote. This one happened when I was in the 11th grade. I was in an AP US history class, and I had to report a 0. So that meant I was at the class before school even started, and I was way too tired to learn about presidents. I was sitting in class when all of a sudden I sneezed very loud. And it was an above-average sneeze. One of those sneezes where you're going to lean into it. And after I sneezed, this kid near me said, hey, don't miss the tissues. Boy's got a bloody nose. And then I thought, oh shoot, I do? Well, that sneeze was pretty violent, and I did take my nose a few minutes ago. And then the teacher looked right at me and said, oh, yeah, just go to that. So I got up, and as I was walking through the door, I felt my face and realized, wait a minute. I don't have a bloody nose. I turned around, and there was a kid who actually did have a bloody nose walking towards me. I'm not going to say the race of the kid because it doesn't matter. Canadian, but I was in a pretty awkward situation. So I punched myself until I actually did get a bloody nose. Yeah, I did. What I really did was I said out loud, I have to go to the bathroom too. And then I left. I didn't really have to go to the bathroom. I didn't want to see another exposed butt anyway, so I just waited outside awkwardly for a long time. I got an A in that class, by the way. If you were wondering. I still love the same. Before I begin this card, I just want to say that I got some brand new shirts and sweatshirts up in the merch store, just in time for Thanksgiving. Look how snazzy those shirts look. Don't you just want to buy them? Oh, and also this Harry the Moth shirt comes with a Harry the Moth pin. I'm thinking about releasing some more pins in the future, so keep out on the lookout for them. I want to explain a joke in the video because it was very funny and you won't get it unless you know the context. Remember that part when I said, right gay? And it cuts to me and some guy in the sound booth? Well, that, dear viewer, was another YouTuber named Boy in a Band, who is probably most famous for being iDubbbz' ghostwriter. But he also made a pretty popular video called Don't Stay in School. So as I said, and that's why you should always stay in school, kids, it cuts me and Dave being like, right, Dave? And it's funny because you made the don't stay in school. It's actually a pretty good video. I agree with a lot of the points in that video. But as I said in my video, I don't make the curriculum, so I don't care. Thank you, Rushlight Invader, for helping color the pictures. He's going to hopefully be doing that forever now. I'm really tired. Wear your seatbelt.
I'm in video.
I'm so lit right now.
Ah! Ah!
James, you said you're going to make a teacher's part two. Subscribe to the videos. I know. Don't worry, I'll do that next video. But right now we're doing this. So my friend Yormi, great channel for Happy Movie Subs, asked me and a bunch of other YouTubers if we could talk about a movie that scared us as a kid. Now, growing up, I wasn't allowed to watch scary movies. I remember one time my parents were watching a movie downstairs, and I went down to see what all the noises were about, and my mom said, "Oh no, honey, you can't watch this, it's too scary." And then years later, I learned that the movie they were watching was Jurassic Park. I think I could have handled it, Mom. I don't know if you can tell by the length of this video, but it's going to be pretty different than the videos that I usually post. But I think it's good to try out new things, and hopefully we'll all have a fun time listening to me talk about this movie. Because, folks, I'm excited to share with you the movie that traumatized me most as a kid. And that movie is, drum roll please, you already read the title, The Dark Crystal. Okay, so The Dark Crystal came out in 1982, 14 years before I was even born. This movie was made for a whole different generation of people, but somehow I still saw it. I don't remember how I saw it. My family didn't own it on VHS, and I forget how old I was exactly. Let's say for the sake of this video, I saw this movie when I was 17, because that's when he was still a child. This movie was directed by Frank Oz and freaking Jim Henson. Jim Henson is the creator of, I don't know if you've heard of this, but The Muppets. You might have seen him before. There's no denying that Jim Henson was a very talented man when it came to puppets, and the work he did on The Dark Crystal is amazing. As much as I'm about to talk this movie down, it's honestly a work of art. The most enjoyment I got rewatching it was just the artistic appreciation of the character design, the scenery, the costume, and most importantly, the puppetry. Some of the puppetry was amazing. How did you know without CGI? And did I mention that there's no people in this film except for full body shots, and they just used the real person dressed up and had them not face the camera. But as I rewatched The Dark Crystal, I realized the movie was kind of garbage. So instead of talking about the parts of the movie that scared me as a child, I'm going to be talking about why this movie was pretty bad. So now this video just turned into one of those bad movie review videos, but honestly, I like watching other people talk about bad movies, like The Room and Birdemic and what was that other one? I can't quite put my pawn. For this video, I ended up doing some research, something I don't normally do for videos, and oh man, is this rabbit hole deep. Jim Henson had a bunch of ideas for the world of The Dark Crystal, but wasn't able to fit all of his ideas into 90 minutes of film. And because he didn't explain the rules of the world well enough, the movie suffered. It felt unfinished and unstarted. Basically, it didn't leave you wanting more, it just left you thinking, wait, what? You might be thinking, well, James, it's just a kid's movie. Kids are dumb. Why are you analyzing a kid's Ryan McCloud, one of the head artists of the movie, even said that when we finished the film, we knew that we had only seen a fragment of this other world. That fragment, yes. So even the creators of this movie felt that they left out a lot of stuff. So in 2012, a 3-part comic book was published to be as a prequel to the movie, and I thought we read all 3 of them. And I will say that they did do a better job explaining the world that Jim Henson had in mind, but you shouldn't have to read a book before you see a movie. Especially since the books weren't available until after the movie came out. In the movie, stuff happens for no reason. Like in one scene, the main character, this is Jen, the main character by the way, get used to looking at this guy's face. I've done so much digging and research into this world that I'm completely desensitized by how weird this puppet looks. If you think this puppet looks creepy, you should have seen some of his earlier designs. Just be thankful this is what you ended up with. So in this scene, Jen is trying to pick out which of the crystal shards is the right one that he needs for his quest. And what does he do to find the right one? That's right, he plays his flute, and then the right shard he needed just glows. Wouldn't you do that too if you were in the same situation? This movie doesn't explain why the crystal likes his music. It doesn't come up later. It just happens. That's basically this whole movie. Things happening slowly. So here we go, children. Hold my hand as I take you on a magical journey. But not too magical that it doesn't make sense. That is the Dark Crystal. The plot. It starts with the narrator telling us that there's this world and that it's done. By the way, this world is named Thrum. They don't mention it once in the movie, but in the prequel Wikipedia article, they all call it Thrum. crystal. This one.
No.
I don't know. I mean, I do know because I read the prequel. But this movie doesn't tell us. Are you still with me? Good. That's good. Because this crystal cracked, two new species were born. The cool Skeksis, the bad guys, and the gentle the good guys. And both species are dying. Now, I'm no biologist, but I think they're probably dying because there's no woman. That would wipe out the species pretty quickly then. Instead of having women, the Skeksis use the crystal to make them young again. Maybe. It's either the crystal or the sun.
So do they learn to draw new light from the sun.
Okay, so then what do you need the crystal for? Now we see the good creatures, the mystics, and with the mystics lives another creature called a gelfling. It's like an elfling, but with G. And earlier, he's naked now, but meet your protagonist, Jen. This movie makes up so many words, just try to keep up.
And a journey must begin. The journey of Jen.
Okay, that's a little pretentious movie. Alright, let's tone it down a little. Then we see that the Emperor Skeksis is dying. Oh no. And then we get the second scariest scene in the whole movie. Now, we're not even 15 minutes in and we're at the part that gave me nightmares. Then the mystic that's basically Jen's dad is also dying. And he tells Jen that he needs to find the cracked piece of the crystal, the shard, and then he just needs to plop that sucker back in the crystal where it belongs. And then boom, boom, the world is saved. Again, they don't explain why doing this would save the world. Like, they could have at least tried to make something up, like once the crystal is fixed, woman will appear. Jen's dad tells him to
follow the crater's sun for a day to the home of all crows.
Now, I'm no astronomer, but I think following the sun for a day would just make you go in a circle. What am I supposed to do when it's new? Now, the Skeksis, they're like, oh, well, dang it, guys. Who's going to be our new emperor? This Skeksis named
Can
Chamberlain.
I just pass your house and I didn't even join your game?
What?
I just passed your house and I didn't even join your game.
You did join my game.
Who wouldn't want to be emperor of like 8 other bird
I
monsters?
just
Remember that this
pressed
Skeksis
play.
is Chamberlain?
I didn't join
Is
your
that every
game.
time he's on camera,
And then
he
I
says
just
this.
passed your house.
Hey man, you can't be emperor, said the Skeksis. Oh yeah? Fight me for it, replied Chamberlain. Since these two are puppets and don't have lower bodies, they can't actually fight each other, which is super disappointing. So instead, the two have a competition to see who can hit a rock the hardest. So that's how you tell who's fit to lead. You can't have someone be your emperor when they can't even hit a rock that hard. Anyway, Chamberlain loses, and all the other Skeksis banish him and rip up his clothes. Okay, now hold on. Do you see what's funny about this screenshot? This Skeksis is wearing glasses, meaning in this universe optometrists exist, and this Skeksis had to go through an eye exam to get his prescription. Do you like number 1 or number 2? Does anyone else think that's funny? No? Alright. Anyway, after the Skeksis banish Chamberlain, they see in the crystal that there's this gelfling just walking around. Man, I didn't know the crystal could snitch like that. So they send out these crab monsters to get him. And by the way, those crab monsters are called Garthams, and they are created by this handsome Skeksis. You'd know that if you read the Wikipedia article. Anyway, back to Jen.
Matt!
What's she up to?
I'm not ready to go alone. All right. Alone.
Took you long enough. Jen is supposed to follow the sun to Agura's house. Agura's? He runs into her and she's this old hag who tells
It's
him
good.
that 3 suns are going to line up soon, and when that happens, the world might end. Or it'll begin. She doesn't know. I know because I've already seen this movie. She also, for some reason, has a box of crystals. One of them is the shard that Jen is looking for, but she doesn't know which.
Which one is it?
Don't know.
So Jen narrows down the box of crystals to 3 shards.
It's one of these 3, I'm sure.
What? No, you've never even seen the Dark Crystal. How do you know it's one of those? Whatever. Okay, I can roll with this. Then, if you remember, Jen gets the idea to play his flute at the shard, and then the correct shard just glows for some reason. Why does the crystal react to flute music? That's not a thing. Crystals don't have ears. Now, when you create a fantasy world, you can't explain everything. Sometimes the answer is just, oh, it's magic. In Frozen, they don't explain how Elsa got her ice powers. She was just born with it, okay? It's magic. And the audience is all okay with it, as long as they don't take it too far. But this movie just tries to pull off so much stuff that doesn't make sense. There's a line, and this movie crosses it multiple times. Then the crab people attack Agura's house, Jen escapes with a shard, boom, next day. Okay, I know I've been talking bad about this movie, but the amount of detail in this forest scene is pretty amazing. I mean, it's not doing anything to drive the plot forward, but I just think it's cool to look at. Anyway, back to review mode. Jen falls in the mud, what an idiot, and then he meets up with the... Oh, jeez, that's a girl! That's a girl! So there's a girl gelfling now. Her name is Kira.
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
She's speaking gibberish.
不接那一种做饭哦。
And then for some unexplained, unimportant reason, when they touch hands, they share memories. I mean, I don't know exactly what happens when you touch hands with another woman. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think that's supposed to happen.
What's happening? We're dream fasting, sharing our memories.
Having it bad. Okay, 3 things. First, this seems like a plot devicey way to just throw in some backstory, but whatever. Second, Jen, you just found out that you're not the last of your species, and when you realize that you're sharing memories with her, you decide to show this person you just met you having a bad. I mean, I guess she did show you her mom dying, so let's just get all that personal stuff out of the way. And third, somewhere on Earth, there exists a baby, naked Jen puppet, and I need to have it. Then we're introduced to my third favorite character, Kira's dog, Fizgig. He doesn't really add anything to the story, he's just that lovable pet/side character. Hey, that's a lot like my dog.
Hey, Bobby.
Also, Kira can talk to animals. Okay. Then we're treated to this really great scene. A whole 2 minutes of the Skeksis eating. But honestly though, I kinda love this scene. It does a great job creeping me out. Okay, it does go on for a minute too long, but bear with me here. The Skeksis' clothing and silverware are Victorian, so it gives off a haunted mansion sort of vibe. And just the character design and the way the Skeksis are eating, it just comes off as unnerving. A lot of movies' scary parts are jump scares or gore. At least I think they do that. I'm not allowed to watch scary movies. But this is such a different way to unease an audience. It kind of reminds me of the first half of the Don't Let Me I'm Scared video. Nothing necessarily scary is happening, but it's still able to make the audience feel uncomfortable. Basically, the whole point of this scene was that the crab people were like, hey, we got this old hag, but we didn't get the gelfling. And then the Skeksis were like, wow, okay, release the crystal bats.
Crystal bats fly! Search the land! Search the water! Search the sky!
Okay, this might be nitpicking, and I'm no gelfling expert, but I think you can rule out searching the sky. I don't see too many gelflings just flying around. So one of the bats finds Jen and Kira. They go back to Kira's village. Jen doesn't even know where he's supposed to take the shard. His dad never told him what to do after he got the shard. He tells Kira about his quest and what Algura told him.
You know the 3 sons of the sky? They're going to come together soon. It's called the Great something or other.
See, even Jen doesn't remember these made-up names. Really would have been convenient if you told her this information when you were sharing memories. So then the crab monsters show up and basically murder and capture Kira's whole family. Yeah, it was pretty traumatizing. And right when the crab monsters are about to attack Jen and Kira, Chamberlain comes out of nowhere. Remember the guy? He steps in between them and stops the attack. And Kira and Jen escape because Chamberlain saved them. Oh, and then Jen throws away the shard. Boom, next day. Kira finds the shard that Jen threw, and then the two find some hieroglyphics about the prophecy. It says that Gelfling is going to save the world and kill all the Skeksis. It doesn't matter. And then, oh, Chamberlain shows up. Hey, Chamberlain. Hey, guys, I'm sorry for killing your entire species. I just didn't want the prophecy to come to fruition. You understand, right? So what if we all go to the castle together, we can eat some food, just have a gay old time, and talk this whole thing over. What do you think? And then he says, please, a lot. Now how can you say no to this lovable guy? He just got kicked out of the Skeksis club, he's all alone, he just saved you from some crab monsters, and he did say please a lot. I'm just saying, if I was Jen, I totally would have trusted Chamberlain 100%. But instead, Jen just stares at him blankly, and then Kira ruins everything and tells Jen not to trust him, and then they run away.
Wait! Please make peace!
It might have been the right call. So then, for some reason, Kira knows where the castle is, and since she can talk to animals, she calls up these things called landstriders. They're just a person walking on 4 stilts, and they ride the landstriders all the way to the castle. I have a lot of problems with this next scene. So one of the Skeksis takes a podling that they just captured, locks it into a chair, and tells the podling that they're going to suck its essence away and make it a slave.
We just want to drain your living essence. Then you can be the same as the other podlings here. A slave.
You know, the podlings don't speak English. They speak a whole different language.
Kira,
Skeksis is just talking gibberish to this guy while he's just locked in a chair like, what's going on? Like, none of what you're saying is going through this guy's head. And so only the Emperor can drink the essence, and that'll make him stay young forever. So what do you need the sun for? And also, what kills the last Skeksis? Looked like old age to me. Yeah, that's cool and all, but we get the most terrifying scene in the whole movie. That's right, this is the winner. You gave me the most nightmare scene. You win $1 million. Congratulations, scene! I can go on for hours about how this part of the movie gave me nightmares, but honestly, it speaks for itself. I think what made it worse was that the podling was tied down to the chair, and he was just so helpless, and his whole face melted off, and just, But now that I'm older, all I can think is, what do you guys need slaves for? So far, the only thing slaves have done was pull on a rope to make some swords appear out of the ground, and bring you guys a plate of food. Why is there such a high demand for slaves that you need to make new ones? What do you guys even do all day? Then Kira and Jen arrive at the castle. They see the crab people taking in the pod people from Kira's village. They try and save the podlings, but completely fail. The Landstriders die immediately. Jen and Kira open the cage that the podlings are in, and then the two get cornered. And what are they going to do, you ask? Well, isn't it obvious? They're going to jump and slowly float down to safety because Kira has wings. That never came up in the memory sharing bit. So I guess when the Skeksis told the crystal bats to search for the Gelflings in the sky, they weren't that far off. Hey Kira, sorry we left your whole family back there. We totally didn't save them like at all. Probably going to get turned into slaves now. Okay, we're almost done everyone. We're getting to Climax Town. Jen and Kira sneak into the castle. Chamberlain's there. He basically murders Jen. And since he captured a Gelfling, he's not an outcast anymore. You guys should have just went with him the first time. Now 2 Landstriders are dead. Kira goes into the slave room, and as a kid, I was already so traumatized the first time seeing a podling get turned into a slave, and now seeing Kira getting her essence taken away, I lost my mind. Oh shoot! Kira's getting turned into a slave! Luckily, remember the old hag Agura? She's like, yo, you can talk to animals, just ask them to help you. Oh, okay. She breaks free, and the animals push the Skeksis that was in the room down this pit, and that kills them. Leading up to this point, it's hinted that the Skeksis and the Mystics are, like, connected. When something happens to a Skeksis, there's a Mystic counterpart that experiences the same thing. So when this Skeksis died, there was a Mystic just walking around that just... and none of the other Mystics react. Yeah, it happens. Then we see that the Mystics can control the crab monsters. I'm guessing it's because they're connected to the Skeksis who also can control the crab monsters. So having a Mystic go with Jen on his journey in the first place would have been super helpful back when Kira's village was getting raided. Alright, let's just wrap this up. Bizgig dies, Jen's not really dead. He finds the Dark Crystal, he jumps to it and then drops the shard. Kira has to throw the shard back to Jen, but while she's doing that she gets murdered. I said spoiler warning, right? And then Jen flops that sucker back into the crystal. The castle crumbles around everyone and the world is saved. But first, the Skeksis and the Mystics walk into each other because they're connected, remember? They become one again, and are you ready for this? They walk into each other, and they turn into tree aliens. I'm not even joking. According to the prequels, these things are actually aliens. This is what the whole movie has been building up to. The bad guys are just one half of a schizophrenic alien tree person, and if you read the prequels, you know that. Is this supposed to be a plot twist? Because to me, it just seems like a plot is doing whatever it wants. So much weird, unexplained stuff has already happened in this movie, so at this point, I don't even care. By the way, Kira and Bizgig don't actually die. This is a kid's movie after all. And then the world is saved even though there's only like 3 people who inhabit it now. The end. So that was the movie. Want to know something funny? I've already used more words in this video than there were words in the entire movie. Also, I need to ask, Jen was supposedly the chosen one.
At this time, Jen is the chosen one.
But I would make the argument that Kira should have been the chosen one. Let me go down my list. She saved Jen from the mud, she smacked the crystal bat out of the sky, when the crab monsters attacked, she had to tell Jen to run, she found the shard on the ground after Jen threw it, she tells Jen not to trust Chamberlain, she knew where the castle was and got the Landstriders to take them there, she used her wings to float Jen down to safety, she was able to get out of being turned into a slave by herself, and she threw the shard back to Jen after his butterfingers dropped it. And how does she get rewarded? By getting stabbed. All Jen did was play a flute on a magic rock. This guy's a doofus. Who chose Jen to be the chosen one? Bad choice. Now, I've said who my second and third favorite character in this movie is, but who's my favorite character? There's only like 3 other characters to choose from, so who could it be? Well, ladies and gentlemen, my favorite character isn't in this movie. My favorite character of the Dark Crystal universe is Rayunit, Agura's son. Okay, I know I just finished the movie, but let me talk about the prequel comics for a minute. Remember Agura, the old lady? Well, turns out she's an immortal being and has been around since the creation of this world. Alright, and one day a meteor hits the planet, and she, like anyone else would do, gives life to it. And out pops Rayunit. And he's basically the main character of the prequel books, and is also technically an alien. I like him because he's the only one who questions what's going on. He asks the same questions I'm asking. So he's my favorite, he's the only character I ever wanted to cosplay. If they ever make prequels into a movie, I call dibs on playing Rayunit. That's how it works. I call dibs on playing this character. I just show up to auditions and I'm like, I actually called dibs, so... Also, in the second book, Agura and her son are having a moment, and Rayunit says, "Will you remember me, Mother? After all the harm I caused? I will never forget you, child." Well, you didn't really seem to remember him in the movie. Also, if there's any producers watching, that was my audition just now to play Rayunit. Would I recommend you watch The Dark Crystal? Well, I did just spoil the whole thing, so no, it would be a waste of time at this point. But if I was talking to someone who hasn't watched this video, then yeah, I would recommend it. Even with all of its flaws, I still think it's a creative film, and I don't know, maybe it'd be fun to talk about it afterwards. Maybe I was desensitized doing all this research, but I also enjoyed the prequel comic books. I thought my favorite characters in there. There's also a manga that was made, Legends of the Dark Crystal, and it's supposed to take place in between these books and the movie. So these books don't even bridge the gap between the start of the... It leaves still on a cliffhanger. These books still leave on a cliffhanger. Speaking of manga, there were plans to make a sequel to The Dark Crystal, another movie, but the film ended up getting canceled. But a 12-part comic series is being produced by Boom Studios, and it's not even completed yet. They're only on, like, the second installment. This is recent, you guys, so now is a great time to get into the Dark Crystal fandom. Like I said, I think The Dark Crystal is a creative story. Jim Henson really bit off more than he can chew making this movie, but seeing how many comics have been made to tell this story, maybe The Dark Crystal is told better through comics and not with the limitations of puppets from the 80s. Anyway, that's just what I thought about the movie. If you're hearing this, that means that you made it. This video, as of right now, is the longest video on this channel. I hope I was able to keep you entertained for such a long time. Be sure to check out all the other YouTubers who participated in this collab thing. I don't know why I agreed to do this. How do you guys make such long videos and not hate yourself?
Jace,
Making this video
get that off the floor. Get the wrapper off the floor. Time's up on the electronics. Turn them off. Come clear the table for us so we can all eat dinner together.
Me?
I need to thank my friend Ginger Pale, who just went above and beyond and colored a lot of the pictures. And that's why some of the pictures looked better than